Today we're going to talk a little bit about calculating profit and profit margin in your business if you're a reseller, and then get into the 22 items that sold on eBay over the weekend. It was 21 items over the weekend, and then one snuck in at about 8 o'clock this morning that I just included so I could get it shipped out today. So let's get right into those details. I've gotten a couple comments over the past few days with items that I've sold for decent money, decent profit. And somebody would say, hey, I like that you sold it for that much, or your profit margin's getting better. You need to sell it for at least this much. And not really knowing all the circumstances around that, or saying, hey, the profit margin on some of the stuff you're doing is way too low. Why do people even waste their time? Categorizing people who sell stuff that isn't very expensive as, you guys keep doing this. And I'm like, I don't know who these other guys are, but they sound fun. But so I responded as courteously as I could, just saying, hey, look, you know, there's a few things I consider whenever I'm going to a sale or a store, anywhere I'm going to source. So there's a sunk cost into that trip. Whenever I'm going to that place, I've already spent the gas and the time to get there. I'm standing there, and somebody was saying, if you're doing like $10 or less in profit, you're wasting your time. And I'm just thinking, okay, first off, whenever I'm going somewhere, I am looking for the most profitable things to sell. I think all resellers do that probably. You're looking around trying to see, you know, is there some big money laying around? And then you go back and kind of like clean up the rest of the sale or the store. And that's what I do. So I look for winners, fast selling items, expensive items that I can put in my hands, in my, you know, my bag to go. And then I walk around because I'm standing right there already. So I've got $100 bills right there in my hand. I'm going to buy these. And it just boggles my mind that somebody would say, well, yeah, I got the $100 bills. And as they're walking around, there's $10 bills laying all over the place, or $20 bills, and go, I don't want those. Now, everybody has a different reselling style, which is what I love about eBay. You can be successful in so many different ways that it's awesome, quite frankly. And so if an item is small to medium size, or, you know, I can fit it in my bin easy. It's easy to take pictures of. I don't have to put a lot of work into it. And I'm going to pay $1 and I'm going to sell it for $10 or $15. I may pick that item up. I may not. If it's a super, super slow sell-through rate, I may not pick it up. But if it's a good selling item and I'm going to make $10 on it with a $1 investment, it's a good chance I'm probably going to pick those things up because it's easy to do. All that stuff adds up. You're not always selling only high-end stuff. There's been times where I've sold just inexpensive things, you know, for a period of time. And so it's just, people are looking for all sorts of stuff. Now, if you said, hey, I've got this giant clock that needs a lot of repairs and you're only going to make $10 on it, no, I'm not picking that up. It's going to be a hassle to ship. It needs work. Like, I'm not doing that. So there's a lot of criteria that go into it. And then I'm looking at the opportunity cost, which is passing by all the profit that's sitting around there. One of the comments was on a video from last week where I showed a pack of Circus playing cards. And I think I sold them for $12 or something, $8, $10. I don't know what it was, but I paid $1 for them at an estate sale. And they're like, why even waste your time on stuff like that? And I said, well, let me give you an example. I was at that estate sale. That was a cleanup item. I had like 3 boxes of stuff that I sold from that estate sale. It made a pile of money from that estate sale. But as I was walking around, I'll usually make 4 or 5 laps around an estate sale just because I'm grabbing stuff and I might miss something, or it was under something or whatever. And I saw a couple packs of playing cards and I bought both of them. These were, you know, like a used set from Circus. They were sealed. And I was like, oh yeah, people buy those. So I picked them up for $1, you know, plus tax, 10 cents, 9 cents, whatever. And it's funny because I think people probably see that sale and they go, oh my gosh, he drove across town to go to that estate sale to buy that one deck of cards for $1 to sell it for $10, which is not the case. Whenever I'm going, I'm buying typically lots of stuff. I do research as best I can on estate sales, especially beforehand, looking through all their pictures, deciding, do I even want to waste my time, take my time, or invest my time, I should say. Do I want to invest my time going to that estate sale? So yeah, I'm not driving places in search of low profit items, but if I see them while I'm there, I'm already there. Why not make some money while I'm there? And again, I'm not buying projects and stuff I have to spend an immense amount of time on cleaning up, and it's hard to take a picture and it's hard to ship it and lots of packing material just to make $5 or $10. That's not the goal. I'm not saying I've not done that before, but that's not, and I think most resellers, it's not what we're trying to do. And I'm not sure that people understand that, but that's about as clear an explanation as I can give. So looking at sunk cost, I'm already going to a place, and then the opportunity cost of leaving stuff behind that you can make money on. And you have to decide where that line is for you in your business. How, low are you willing to go in a sell-through rate? How low are you willing to go on the money you're going to put back in your pocket? And see if it's worth it for you. But another thing I came across is in both comments, they were using profit and profit margin interchangeably. Those aren't the same thing. So a lot of people don't track profit margin. I've talked about this a little bit, but for me, it's a holdover from my professional or corporate career. We tracked profit margin religiously. And so I know, like, starting off as a salesman for several years, my profit margin goal was 32.5%. And that was very important to me because I got paid a percentage of profit. That was my whole paycheck, 100%. I was 100% commission on profit. So watching your profit margin, getting your profit margin up on your sales dollars was very, very important. So, profit margin for me is just kind of a guideline to see, am I, going in the right direction with my purchases? Did I make some bad purchases? On clothing, for instance, it's not untypical, at least for me, I don't know about everybody else, but to see like around a 35% profit margin, and that's pretty acceptable. And I say just for me, I watch a lot of clips and videos for K-Way Shop, and he is all clothing. And I say all clothing, I think maybe just some hats and a few other things, but lots and lots and lots of clothing. And I look at the prices he pays for stuff, like he talks about it, and what he's going to sell it for. Same thing with Surf's Up Finds, Brad over at Surf's Up Finds. Same thing. He shows what he's paying and what he's going to sell it for on eBay. And it's pretty in line with what I'm seeing. It's around, it seems like about a 35% profit margin. But I don't know. So I use it kind of as a gauge. I have my profit margin goal for my store at 45% because I like to mix in other higher profit margin items as well. So I'm going to show how I calculate stuff here. I hope nobody takes this as, I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm just showing you how I calculate my profit margin, my profit and my profit margin on items I sell. And because I'm doing this on my phone and I'm not going to go back and edit it and insert fancy graphics, I just put it on cardboard. So if I'm paying for a shirt, right here, shirt, if I'm paying $2 for a shirt, I sell the shirt for $10 plus $5 shipping, my total revenue is $15. $10 for the shirt, $5 for the shipping revenue. So $15 is my total revenue for that transaction. Then you go down here and you're like, well, how much was my profit? So I had $15 in revenue. I paid $3 in eBay fees. I just did 20% because I was like, okay, I'm paying platform fee, maybe a promo fee, and 20%. I had $2 in cost of goods for the shirt. I paid, say I only paid $4.50 for the shipping label. I threw in a little variable there. I paid a little less for my shipping label. That's $5 flat rate. Paid $4.50. So now I'm left with pre-tax profit of $5.50 on that item. So paid $2, made $5.50 on a total transaction of $15. And I'm just noticing my fingers are dirty. I spent a good part of the weekend with my hands buried in the hoods of 2 different cars that I own. It was an exciting weekend. So now we're gonna look at profit margin. So I think people, like, that throws them off. They think profit is profit margin, and it's really not. So I put my basic definition. I didn't look this up. It's just what in my head profit margin is. Profit margin is the percentage of your total revenue that your pre-tax profit represents. So in this case, we had the pre-tax profit, if you remember, of $5.50 on a total revenue of $15. So that represents a 36.7% profit margin. That means of the $15, 36.7% of that transaction was profit, which is your $5.50. So I hope that makes sense. But I noticed in both comments, they seem to use profit and profit margin interchangeably. And while they do correlate, one's a percentage and one's a dollar amount. So they are different things. And I'd wager that a lot of people don't pay attention to profit margin at all. They're just looking at their profit, kind of doing some kind of calculation, or maybe it's an ROI calculation in their head. I don't know. On Flipwise, it's nice because it shows you both. It'll show you your net return, your return on investment, and it'll show you your profit margin. So I like that a lot. I know that stuff already because I've just been doing it for a number of years, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute to clear the air. And, in my response to them was, hey, the great thing about eBay is everybody can have their own unique business and run it different ways and be successful. So, and then I wish them good luck. So, it is very interesting how people will watch a video and then get so wrapped up in the way somebody else does something that they just feel the need to tell them they're doing it wrong, or they've been doing it wrong, or whatever. It's pretty interesting, especially when people aren't. I guess I say, if you have any comments or questions, I guess it's a comment. I guess it's my fault for saying that. I'm not. I guess they feel like they need to give me advice, which I guess I appreciate enough that they care to leave the comment and give me the advice. But in the end, it's all stuff that I'm very familiar with, and I understand it forwards, backwards, and I'm good with where I'm at. So yeah, that's enough of my soapbox speech for this Monday. Now let's get into the items that sold this past weekend. If you happen to see my video last week, I talked about what I was doing to really, on Thursday, to kick my eBay store back into gear, because I'd been laying off of it for a couple weeks. I'd only listed 8 items like 3 weeks ago, none the week before, and then last week, or after that, and then last week, I was like, okay, I was getting to Thursday, and I was like, I got to get items listed. Like it was starting to trail off, and I know that I should be selling more than I am. I was only selling about 0.5% of total inventory per day, and my goal is to sell 1% of total inventory per day. And that's in units. So if you have 400 items listed for, let's say, which I was right around 400, then I want to be selling about 4 items a day. So I know it's not a perfect calculation. It's just whatever I'm shooting for. So I took a few steps last week. Thursday morning, I delisted every single item I had in my store and relisted them. I did a sell similar on 385 listings last Thursday morning. And it started prompting sales almost immediately on stuff that was stale, that I've had in my inventory for months. I've got stuff here that I sold over the weekend I've had in my inventory for months. And I think I probably got about 8 or 10 sales since last Thursday morning on items that have just been sitting for months. So very good thing to do. If you don't do that, had a couple people in the comments talk about wanting to do that or going ahead and doing that after I talked about it. So it's a good practice. I don't do it as often as I should. I really ought to do it every couple of weeks, but you should go through and you can delist your whole store, sell similar or relist all those items, in a matter of about, you can do your whole store in about 5 minutes, really. On eBay, you don't want to do it on your PC. I don't even think you could do that on your phone. You can do one item at a time on your phone, but if you want to do bulk, do it on your PC and do it in the Seller Hub, and it is super easy to do. So did that on Thursday. Friday, and I didn't kick it off till Friday mid-morning because honestly, I kind of forgot about it and I didn't schedule it ahead like I should have, is I went in and I put on a store sale running Friday mid-morning through Sunday night midnight. I did 27 or 28% off, I don't remember, on clothing, all clothing. I included hats, socks. I did, there was something else I did. I don't know. I threw in another category as well, or another category or two. But so I had that going all weekend. I didn't end up doing cookware. So I just decided, because some of the stuff that I have over here, I didn't want to sell it because I'm going to put it in sets. So in any case, so I did that, and the sales started coming in, and I got 21 sales between Friday mid-morning and Sunday night. Yesterday about 10:30 was my last sale. And then I had one sneak in this morning at about 8 o'clock that I went ahead and included in this group of items to talk about. So there's 22 items total that we're going to talk about selling over this weekend. So let's get into it. And there's some in here that aren't great profit margins, so be prepared. First item that sold was another one that I've had for months sitting there, a Hee Haw collector's plate. I picked up at Goodwill for my wife found this for $3.30, and I sold it. I don't remember if it's on an offer, or I think that was on a sale for $20.92 plus shipping. That was a good one, actually. Good profit on that one, profit and profit margin. Then next, we've got, I can never say it, Ermenegildo, I think, Xenia. This is a linen shirt. It's a cool shirt. It's like white up top and it fades to a light blue towards the bottom. Really nice piece. I picked up at Goodwill for $7.38 and sold it for $35.92 plus shipping, and that was on the store sale. Next item's been sitting for months is 4 solar panel cables. You link them together and hook them into like a generator or batteries to power your house. So it's backup power. Those were family and friends, didn't pay anything for those, and sold them for $29.89 plus shipping. It's a very specific type product. This I just listed last Thursday. This vintage Radio Shack handheld radio scanner. It's a triple trunk. I don't know what that means, but all the pieces are there. It's in good shape. Took some good pictures of that. Sold it very quickly. I paid $5 for it at a garage sale when I was up in Iowa about a month and a half ago, and I sold it for $69.89 plus shipping. Next is a Goodwill find. This is a Vivint, which is, that logo is the Vivint logo, which is like home security stuff, I think. But it's a brand new hat. It's like a promo hat, like a laser cut polyester hat. I picked up for $4.31 and sold it for $10.72 plus shipping on sale. Not a great one, but went out the door. Next item sat for months is a Build-A-Bear. I've had this in inventory for about 3 or 4 months. This is Violet the Wolf. It's like a 25th birthday anniversary kind of deal. I think it's from Great Wolf Lodge, but it's a Build-A-Bear. I paid $2.75 for this and sold it for $8.89 plus shipping. So I sold it full price, but just finally got some attention. Next item is the same way. I picked this up at an estate sale for $1. It's a sewing machine pedal. It's a unbranded sewing machine pedal. I paid $1 for and sold it full price, $9.89 plus shipping. I've had that one for about 9 months. And finally, D-list, sell similar, boom, sold. Now we'll get into some more clothing. It's a vintage Wrangler Pearl Snap brush popper. This is a short sleeve shirt. The brush popper Wrangler shirts are definitely worth picking up at the right price. I paid $7.38 for it at Goodwill and sold it for $28.72 plus shipping on the store sale. More clothes are these Patagonia pants. They were the same size. I don't remember what size they are, but they're like a 40-32 or something like that. But there was two different styles in the same size on the rack. So somebody donated both pairs of pants, but Patagonia hiking pants, I picked up the pair for $15.60 at Goodwill and sold them for $46.72 plus shipping on the store sale. Next item, another one that's been sitting for several months, probably 9 or 10 months, is this little, it's a Zippo little key holder, and it's got it on both sides. Dealer's Transit Incorporated. It's a brand new promo piece. I picked up for 50 cents at an estate sale and sold it for $9.88 plus shipping. Full price. Just got some attention. Next item, I was super glad to see the sale come through, was this set of Wilson. Hope. It's the breast cancer awareness golf clubs from Wilson, a set of woods and irons. It's a complete set. I told a story about this one, but I actually, I bought those at Goodwill in a nice looking Max Fly golf bag, and it had an Odyssey 2-ball putter, which is what I wanted. I wanted the putter. I saw the Wilson clubs, and I was like, Wilson clubs aren't worth much. Wilson staff sells pretty well, the vintage Wilson staff, but I was like, Wilson it's a low-end brand. So I was gonna sell the bag and the clubs for like 25 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. So what I did, whenever I bought the set, it was like $12.19 plus tax. I assigned the entire cost to the putter because it was worth it to sell the putter by itself with that cost attached to it. And I was like, I'll just sell this other stuff for 25 bucks on Facebook. And I was about to start taking pictures, and I noticed it said Hope with the breast cancer, the pink ribbon, and I was like, So I looked them up on eBay, like 200% sell-through rate on those sets of clubs, pretty good money. For the newer style of the Hope clubs, they'll sell for $150, $165. I sold those for $115 plus shipping on an offer. Somebody sent me an offer, I countered, and we settled on $115, which was awesome. I have no money into those clubs and sold them for $115 plus shipping. I'm so excited about that. And I sold the golf bag already. I sold it for $40 on Facebook Marketplace in about, 3 hours. So that $13 investment at Goodwill, I sold the putter for like $45. So, and then $115, so now I'm at $160, $200 for a $13 investment at Goodwill. That one paid off for sure. The next item, Grand Theft Auto 4, a PlayStation game. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure I thought I'd taken it out of my inventory and I put it in a box, and I think I may have donated it. I'm not certain. I have a box of some random stuff at home I need to go check, but I'm a little concerned about that for sure. So I don't have any money into it. I got it for free in a whole box of stuff. There was a bunch of games and stuff sitting on the side of the road for Big Junk Day in my neighborhood that I picked up, and I sold a bunch of games out of it, but that one was in there. But if I can find it, I sold it for $14.89 plus shipping. So yeah, I think I may have taken it out of my inventory, or I thought I did, because I've had it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I've had it for quite a while. But again, delisted, relisted, and I think I got caught up in there somehow. But we'll see. Next item is this vintage Loman buck call. It's like I don't know if it's a buck, it's not to men, it's like them bleeding, not rattling antlers, I don't think necessarily, or it could be rattling antlers, I don't know. I picked it up for $1 at the same sale. What else did I get there? Oh, that I got the radio at, the Radio Shack radio, same sale. I picked it up for $1 at that estate sale or garage sale, and sold it for $12.89 plus shipping. Next item is this Super Nintendo Top Gear 2 game I got for free at a clean out I did recently from a family and friends deal. They were moving. I got a whole bunch of stuff for free that was in there, and sold that for $18.89 plus shipping. Pretty fast. Next item is a red Masters hat. So it's got the tag on it. They tore off the price on the bottom, but I found this at Goodwill for $4. $3.99 plus tax is like $4.30. This is an American Needle hat. Picked that up for $4.31. Sold it on the store sale for $14.32 plus shipping. And then right after that, I sold another golf hat, different person. I don't know how to say this. Strixon? I don't know. This one wasn't a great flip, but I already had it. So I picked it up at a garage sale for 50 cents, and it's in really good shape. I don't even know that it's ever been worn, honestly. It doesn't look like there's any signs of wear at all. But picked it up for 50 cents at a garage sale and sold it for $4.24 plus shipping on the store sale. That one I wouldn't buy again, but I had it, so I sold it. Next item is a super flashback to the 90s. If you're a 90s kid, you might think this is cool. You might not think it's cool. I don't know. Pogs. This also came from that family and friends clean out that they were moving. There are, so 2 13-inch or 12 or 13-inch pod containers and a small pod container. There are 299 milk cap pogs, 9 slammers, and the 3 containers. Some of the pogs are pretty cool. Different poison pogs, some 8-ball pogs, and football, and dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. Also, I mean, it's just big time flashback to the 90s. So that big lot of pogs sold for $49.89 plus shipping in a couple of days. I still have my pogs from the 90s. My kids have them now. I used to play those all the time. My dad was a sheet metal fabricator by trade, and he built like custom kitchens for huge corporate buildings and that kind of stuff. And he made me custom slammers that were stainless steel, like thick with washers in them, or that had like foam with stainless steel on both sides. So I had the coolest slammers of anybody around because I had them all custom made. It's pretty cool. And I still have them. Dad, if you're watching this, I still have those slammers. All right, next up is this Pampered Chef piece I picked up at my local Goodwill just down the street. It's a really small, like little baking bar pan. Has the instruction book and the spatula. It's brand new. I don't have the box for it, but it has not a scuff and everything is in perfect condition. I listed it as brand new open box. Picked it up for $3.25 and sold it for $19.89 plus shipping, and sold it in just a few days. Next is another item I've had for months that got relisted and sold over the weekend. Is this Calphalon, just a plain old lid, Calphalon commercial lid. I picked this up for 50 cents at a garage sale a long time ago, the whole bunch of stuff. Sold it for $7.42 plus shipping on the store sale. I sold a driver, tailor-made driver I got in a set of clubs a while back. It's a decent driver, but it's a very, very flooded style. The grip needs to be replaced. I've got it stretch wrapped. I did call that out in the description, and I had it priced appropriately. So I've got $5 into that driver and sold it on an offer. Somebody sent me an offer, and I accepted it for $15.11 plus shipping. Next, this was the last item that sold yesterday. Pulled into the driveway last night, sold this pair of Baldwin Kansas City. I never heard of the brand, picked it up at Goodwill. This is the Henley model. Picked those up for $10.50 and sold them on the store sale for $32.32 plus shipping. And then this morning, that's all from the weekend. This morning, I got in, I was making my notes, and I had sent an offer apparently, or I sent an offer this morning. So everybody that that I had watchers on all these clothing items that the sale expired last night. This morning I went out and I sent 25% off offers to everybody who was watching all those clothing items, just to give them one last shot to purchase on it. Somebody sent an offer on these vintage 90s Gitano pants, like cargo pants. They're super cool. I paid $7.90 for these. I sent an offer, they sent me a counter offer back for $18 flat, and I accepted it, get them out the door. Not gonna be the best flip, but glad to have those moving. And that is it. It was a busy weekend overall for me. eBay sales were coming in. I was doing lots of messaging, responding, seeing if I could send offers on stuff that wasn't on sale. Went and visited some old friends, worked on a couple of cars, and went to an event with my son for a college send-off thing. So it was just like jam-packed weekend. And this week's gonna be pretty busy as well. So hope everybody out there had a good weekend. If you have any comments or questions, even if you want to tell me how to run my eBay business, just drop it down there in the comment section below and I'll make sure and get back to you. And until next time, have a great day.